Hello, everybody. Julie Cloutier here from Own Your Power, Change Your Life, and welcome to the second video on how to tap into your intuition. So this is the second video of a three-part video series on how to tap into your intuition. So hopefully you have watched the first one, and I invite you to do so if you haven't, because in the first one, I show you a very important technique to practice in order to open up the bridge of communication between yourself and your higher self, which is your intuition. Okay, so in this video is going to be so exciting because we're going to talk about, how intuition shows up for you. What does it sound like? What does it feel like? So if you have been practicing that technique that I showed you in the first video, then you're starting to get some insights. You and your intuition are starting to communicate a little more. And you're starting to figure out how it's showing up, because intuition is very, very subtle, and this is why it's so important to be in the present moment, okay? To be grounded, because if you're not, then you're going to miss what your intuition is trying to tell you, okay? So intuition is not a thought awareness. It doesn't happen in the mind, it's a sensory awareness. Okay, so you need to learn how to get back into your body. Get out of your monkey mind. Okay? That's why my technique that I have showed you in the first video is so important to learn and to use on a daily basis. So you need to get out of your head, okay, and start listening to your gut, okay? So, what does intuition look like? What does it feel like? How does it show up for you? And it's different for everybody. It really is, okay? But one thing's for sure, when it does show up, it's always accompanied by a physiological impulse, okay? There's always something going on physically in your body, and that is why I am telling you to get into your body. Okay, so it's always going to catch your attention. So it could be, a vibration in your gut. It could be butterflies in your stomach. It could be, the hairs that come up from the back of your neck. It could be ringing in your ears. So many things. It could be so many things. Okay, so the more you practice these intuitive muscles, the more you're going to understand how it shows up for you. Okay, so this is going to be a very, very important and intimate relationship that you're going to build. Okay, it's going to be one of the most important relationships that you're ever going to build. Okay, and that's the one with your intuition. And like I've mentioned before, once you're tapped into your intuition, then you're tapped into your higher self. And your higher self is directly connected to this universal abundance, to the universal field, okay, to all that wisdom, all that knowledge, all that energy. So I don't know about you, but I want to tap into that, okay? So, when you receive a message, or like some guidance from your intuition, I'll tell you one thing, it's never loud. And I talked about this in the first video. That's fear talking, which comes from your ego. It's very loud, don't do this and be careful. No, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Or remember last time you did that, or remember your sister tried that and it didn't work out. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's your ego. Okay? Intuition is calm. It's loving. It feels like home. It feels like you. It's like a whisper, but it's always loving. And that's the reason why, I'm going to keep repeating myself. And that's the reason why it is so important for you to be in the present moment, to be mindful. Because if you're not, then you're going to just miss what your intuition is trying to tell you. You're going to be so caught up in what's going on here that you're not going to sense anything. Okay? And like I said, like intuition is not loud. It's very, very subtle. So you really, really need to be living in the now. Okay? I always tell my children, be where you are. Be where you are. My oldest one tends to project himself in the future, and he tends to get very nervous. He's such a beautiful empath, but will just throw himself in the future and starts getting anxious and nervous. And I keep telling him, be where you are. Bring yourself back. And when you bring yourself back to where you are and what's going on, that's where the magic happens. That's where you see and hear and feel things that are going on in the now. Okay? My intuition is usually really quiet. It's very, very subtle. Kind of like a whisper. It just goes by very quickly. I'll give you an example. One of my clients in my 90-day program, we were on a coaching call, and she had just gone through one of my meditations to meet one of her spiritual guides. Okay, and this spirit guide showed up as an animal. And, I was telling her that she needs to find ways to connect with this animal and create a relationship with it. And something just, went like a flash. I can't even explain it to you right now anyways, but the only thing I knew was that I just said it's going to show up as a piece of jewelry. And it's going to be in a way that it's not, you never expected it. It's going to be very unexpected. It's going to surprise you. And sure enough, I think it was the next day, the following day or 2 days after that, she sends me a picture through Messenger with, a message saying, oh my God, I was looking through Amazon to see if I can buy myself a piece of jewelry with that animal. And then I saw, a piece of jewelry, and it was so familiar to me. So she said, I looked into my jewelry box and I found that exact piece of jewelry that my daughter had bought me 2 years ago. But the chain had it was broken. So she said, I just kind of left it there and I never bothered repairing it. So sure enough, she did repair it. And that's what I'm talking to you about, how intuition comes up. There's no rhyme or reason for it sometimes. It's not rational at all. It just shows up. And you got to be in the present moment. And if I wouldn't have been during that call, I would have missed it. And she wouldn't have gotten that insight. And she wouldn't have found that piece of jewelry, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So I find that the more connected I am, like to my essence, to my core, the clearer my intuition speaks to me. Okay? And, it's not, when you listen to your intuition, it's not like it's not straining. It's not, you don't have to strain your ear to listen to it. It's not that type of listening. It's a sensory experience. Okay? So an intuition will show up, and I've mentioned this before, in the first video, it shows up in small ways as well. Very subtle. It doesn't always have to be these big life-changing moments. It's very subtle, but these little messages that you get will lead you to probably something phenomenal. Something marginal, something very important. It's almost like sometimes your intuition will just throw little stones, little pebbles, and you just have to kind of follow that trail. It reminds me of the E.T. movie with the M&Ms. You just follow the trail of M&Ms, and that's what the intuition does to you. That's what your intuition is trying. It's like it's guiding you, slowly but surely. But, and that's what I do every day. I listen, and it could be as bizarre as look up in the sky, and I look up and I see an eagle soaring. And then if you look at the definition or the meaning when you see an eagle, it's all about that bird's eye view, that sense of freedom, So it's very important. I mean, this was like a message, that my intuition was trying, that my higher self, that the universe was trying to send to me. That's how important it is to always be in the present moment. And of course, intuition has showed up in in big ways too in my life. It's time to quit that job. It's time to, put an end to that relationship. Start that project. Go to that event. And the one event that just comes to mind is it was this workshop. This 2-hour workshop, but it was on energy healing, and my intuition kept, kind of guiding me and actually pushing me to go. And thank God I went. Thank God that I listened, because it changed my life completely. Completely changed my life. Okay? So I practice listening, because listening creates magic, and it will do the same for you. It has to. Okay? And like I said, it's not a straining kind of listening. It's a passive kind of listening, but you need to be open and receptive to it. Okay? You got to listen with your body. You have to feel your moments. That's the language that intuition speaks. Okay? So it's not a mind thing. Okay? So, do you know how your intuition feels? Do you know how it comes through? What's its language? Do you get those butterflies in your stomach? Do you get, shivers? Or does it speak in words? Do you hear it? Do you feel it? You need to know. And that's why I'm telling you, it's important to create that bridge of communication between yourself and your intuition, right? Because it's always speaking to us, and it's always, always guiding us all the time, And if you feel like yours hasn't been showing up, for some reason, it's time to practice that listening that I was talking to you about, with your whole body, really tune into your feelings. Okay, again, get out of that monkey mind, right? You have to allow them to flow freely through you. I'm talking about your emotions here, because blocked emotions will block your intuition. Makes sense. Those compulsive, obsessive thoughts going on, that's going to clog up your mind. It will, and it's also going to get away into your intuition. Now, in the 90-day program, the Empowered Mystic, I do teach my clients how to release, energetic blockages, emotional blockages. And I also offer an energy therapy, which is amazing. For some of you, or those of you who have received one of my energy healing therapies, they're so good. You feel so good. It's like a 1-hour massage, honestly, but on a much deeper level. Okay, and my clients receive that when they hop on to my Empowered Mystic 90-day program. So I wanted to share with you 5 ways to bring more awareness to your intuition, okay? To create that space so that it could show up in your life, okay? So the first thing, and I'm sure you saw me coming, is meditation. I'm sorry, guys, but you need to meditate, okay? And find that stillness, clear that chaos in your mind, okay? Now, there are tons of different types of meditations. And it's up to you to go Google them and figure out which one suits you. I know for myself, I love different types, but I really like guided meditations. And I really like just to sit in nature and just, let myself go. I have certain techniques that I have learned in my initiate school that I actually followed for, I think it was a 1-year training intensive, but I also followed that mentor for almost 5 years. So I learned a lot from her, and meditation was a big part of it. And so I have, different techniques that I have learned. They come from ancient teachings from a closed initiate school. But I do teach some of these techniques to my clients if they are at a certain level of vibration. And that is something else that I teach, is how to raise your frequency, because the higher your vibration, the more you're going to open up a whole new world for yourself. The more you're going to be tapped in to this universal abundance. Okay, they all go hand in hand. So meditation, if you meditate, you're making room for your intuition to speak to you. Okay. The second one is honoring your body. They call it the temple, right? Honor your body. What do I mean by that? Give it the nourishment that it needs. No junk food, no processed foods, high fats and all that gunk. No. The more toxins you have in your body, the more clogged up you are. Okay? And we are a physical human being. I mean, yeah, we're a spiritual being living a human experience, but we are in this physical vehicle. We have to take care of it. Okay? And it does affect your intuition if you do not eat properly. So tons of vegetables and fruits, tons of water. We're almost 80% water. Our body is made out of almost 80% water. You need to fuel your body with good nourishing foods. Medicinal herbs, love them. I'm a certified family herbalist. Love, love, love herbs. Okay, so bring in all the good stuff. If it comes from the earth, it's good for you. Okay, sleep is another great thing you need to incorporate in your body. Exercise, extremely important. We're made to move. A lot of people live this stagnant life. You need to get that body moving and get the energy flowing. And at the same time, it helps you ground, okay, when you're moving. The next one is spend time in nature. Oh, this is a big one for me. I love spending time in nature. I live in a remote Inuit community up in Kuujjuaq, Quebec. And walking in the tundra is it's almost like a walking meditation for me, really. It helps me ground and it helps me reconnect with myself when I've had a really busy day. So find time to spend time in nature. Everything is grounded in nature. So why not spend time with all of that beautiful energy? Okay? So at least a couple of times a week. Try to, make some time to go by the water, take a walk in a forest if you're near one. For me, it's the tundra. Not too many tall trees where I am at, but I'm near some water as well. Okay? The other one, and I talked about it with nature, and the other one too with honoring your temple, is move your body. Move your body. That stagnant energy, you don't want that. Okay? Because if you get that, then you get stuck and nothing is flowing, and that's when disease happens. Okay? So you kind of want to get everything flowing. So do whatever you want. Run, dance, walk, do yoga, do Zumba, go swimming. I really don't care as long as you move. Okay? And the last one is pray. And I don't mean praying to a God, for things that you want. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean pray to come into alignment with the present moment, with your essence, with your deepest inner desires and your deepest inner knowing. Okay? Praying gives your intuition a map, towards your deepest desires, It kind of directs you. It directs you to this amazing, exceptional life. Okay? You have to become friends with your intuition, really. It's kind of like when you meet someone for the first time. You don't just connect like that right away. You have to work at it. And that's what you need to do with your intuition. It's going to allow it to show up in wonderful ways. It's going to you're going to allow it to guide you and to support you and to protect you. And it's going to create so much clarity. No more self-doubting, because you're tapping into your inner wisdom and you're trusting it because you've been, creating this beautiful relationship and you've seen it prove itself time and time again, how it's always there for you. And what does that do when there's no more self-doubt? That's certain. There's certainty. Well, that gives you confidence. You don't just sit there and wait, what am I going to do next? No, you're able to move forward. You're able to go in and go, okay, yeah, going this way. And you go that way. I mean, that is empowering. So empowering. Now, in the last video, I'm going to teach you golden rules on how to keep these channels open, these channels of communication open with your intuition. So stay tuned for the third video. And on that, I'm going to wish you a beautiful day and practice, practice, practice your intuition. If you have any questions, then feel free to contact me. Sending you all love and light.